What is up, everybody? DanDanTheFireman here. We're going to go over Doodle on a motorcycle. She just had a speed wobble crash, so let's go and take a look and see what happens here. So let's just watch the first part.
You're about to see my first crash in 10 years of riding. And I wouldn't know it until days and weeks later, but it's the accident that would halt my riding.
Oh, it's that concrete, the little...
I didn't know when.
Okay. And there's the bike going down. And she goes down, so I'm thinking mechanism injury, right knee.
Oh!
All right. So we're going to kind of pick apart some of this stuff, not in terms of being critical or anything, but more like, let's go ahead and go over the accident. Let's go over what happens after the accident. And then I think the rest is like her vlog. So if you do want to check it out and you get a little bit more information, we're not going to go over all that stuff. Link will be in the description for that. So let's take a look. We have a top-down point of view. We can see everything. It looks like it's an older retro type bike.
But it's the accident.
So right here, it's a good job though, because we talk about the plan method, right? We position for safety, locate, assess, and navigate. You see the gouge in the street. That's not good for your tires. If you get your tire in there, it's kind of like a tram track. So good job on her for being in a different position instead of being in this position. So you start locating those hazards like potholes, manhole covers, gouges in the street, move off to a different side, and now you're in a new position for safety. And you're looking for escape routes, good line of sight, and good space cushions away from hazards when you are aiming for a position for safety. So come up to here, and that's where it is. That's where it is. So right here, one thing you got to watch out for is a change of road surface, and it happens on bridges, it happens on and off ramps, and it could just happen because there's construction. You have that metal plate or whatever. So always watch out for that, because this part is never the same level as like a typical road. So the way you can tell is it's obviously different colors. So see a different color up ahead, be prepared for that. Maybe lift your butt off the seat a little bit, be prepared for that initial bump. So that's what you see there. Now I'm gonna go ahead and play a little bit. So there's the bump. Now you see this type of concrete in California. I hate that stuff. And you see it on bridges, you see it on and off ramps with those concrete on and off ramps. I hate this stuff because with your tire, because it's always parallel. It's always parallel with your tire right here. What can happen is that it starts to sway. You start to sway a little bit because it's like going into a groove, you kind of correct. It goes into a groove, kind of correct, goes into a groove. And it keeps doing that. So they're like the tiniest of tram track kind of things. Groove, and until you finally get off and then you're stable. That's why you're more stable on just the asphalt. So this kind of stuff is freaky. How do you handle that? You just constantly just do the little groove thing. Don't do any crazy emergency swerves or anything like that. So you're starting to run into issues because you can't do much. That's why I hate these roads. Try to avoid them as best as possible. Thankfully, they're always in California. I don't like going there. That's kind of what it looks like a little bit. That's maybe a little more exaggerated, but that's kind of what it looks like. The little goes into the groove.
I didn't know when.
If you have big, wide tires, so on cars, you don't feel it. But on motorcycle tires, they're more narrow, so you do feel it when it does that. So now we're on the shoulder, okay? So now it's our time to recorrect and try to stabilize our bike. Now, how can we do that? Roll off the throttle. You know, if you give it more speed, yeah, it might kind of elevate and help out a little bit. So you either have to accelerate hard, which I don't want to put myself in that position to accelerate hard to get that front suspension up a little bit and kind of lighten the load. So I don't want to go super hard because now I'm going at a higher speed on a shoulder. I'm going at a higher speed. If there's traffic, now I'm catching up to traffic too quickly, and then I have to apply the brakes. I always like to roll off the throttle and slow it down. I don't want to slam the brakes, but roll off the throttle. That's what I would be doing. But once we get to that right there, once we get to this, you're a victim to physics at this point. And this is why we wear full gear. And there's the dump. Hey, Doodle, there's the sign. It means there's a custom bike. That sucks. So, and I talked about mechanism of injury a little bit. So mechanism of injury is basically whatever the incident is. If somebody hits you in the head with a baseball bat, guess what? The mechanism of injury is a baseball bat to the head. What kind of injuries would you have to your head? Possible concussion, skull fracture, possible whatever, but it's kind of isolated here. If somebody hits you in the head with a baseball bat, they're not gonna be like, well, how's your ankle? No, it's the focus is where the type of thing happened to the thing, which will cause the injury to that specific thing area. So when we talk about mechanism of injury on a motorcycle crash, typically it's that first initial impact. or it's that second and third that can involve, but most of the forces are happening in that first initial impact. So if it's against the guardrail, okay. If it's against a car, okay. Here what we have is we fell to the side, fell down to our right side, knee first, ankle possibly, hand comes out to protect the core. It's possible a little bit of hand abrasions. And then if we go just a little bit further, right hip. So immediately, right knee takes the brunt of the force, right there. So right knee impact, boom, takes most of it. So when I'm thinking mechanisms of injury, if I witness the crash, okay, if I was riding behind a buddy, riding behind her, and I see the crash, I'm thinking immediately right side. So that's where I'm going to go when it comes to my assessment right off the bat. The rest of this, now here's the secondary part where she's sliding. So now she's on her left side, so now there's left abrasions. Okay, so I'm thinking road rash, but road rash is pretty mitigated, especially with riding gear. Also, road rash is typically capillary or venous bleeding. With that right knee impact, I'm a little bit more worried about a break or a compound fracture, so that's why I go towards that.
Oh, no. Oh.
Conscious breathing, that's good. So, I don't know who this person is. I'm going to start saying Buddy. So, Buddy is going to come over, sees the crash. What do we do after a crash? Okay, so if we witness somebody crash or ourselves crash, best bet you can do is try to remain calm. Do some box breathing, do whatever you can, remain calm, because you have to start thinking clearly about how to solve a certain problem that might be happening. Next thing is you want to ensure your own safety. So if you're him, your buddy, and you see a crash and you're like running out in traffic or whatever, and you get hit by a car, guess what? Now there's two people that need to get help. So if you ensure your own safety, you can actually help somebody. And then you want to stop any major bleeds. So a little bit more of an action thing right there when it comes to the R, is that something you can do is call 911 or tell someone to call 911. When it comes to ensuring your own safety, look for hazards, but then also wear PPE, because you don't want any bloodborne pathogens if you're helping somebody that you don't know. Because I always, if you're going to help somebody you don't know too. But wear some nitrile gloves, keep your helmet on so you have a face shield so no blood splatter can go in your mucous membranes and your eyes and your nose and your mouth. Stopping major bleeds, direct pressure, apply a tourniquet, pack the wound. There's links in the store for Tremoto. I'm carrying their trauma pack, so if you want one, go ahead and check it out. And then you can quickly assess severity. So head injury symptoms, spinal cord, shock symptoms. The only thing you can really do is stop any external bleeding, lay them down on their back. The ground is like a cervical spine splint. It'll keep everything in line. Check for anything like that. Monitor any changes. So if they start getting worse, they can't remember anything, or they go unconscious, you can only monitor and try to keep them warm. That's the best thing you can do. So let's see what happens here.
What just happened? Are you okay?
Okay, so he's in front.
Yeah, I'm okay.
All right, let's get this.
Don't worry, this won't.
Don't move. Just stay right where you are.
Perfect.
Okay.
You don't want to move. Just stay there. When it comes to stay right there, let's do that right there. Perfect. Okay. So she's off the roadway. So let's say she was still on the roadway and there's traffic coming. Okay. We're off on the far right over there. And there's traffic coming. What you want to do, especially if this person's here or you yourself, tell this person, slow down traffic or move traffic to the other side. Don't stand in traffic. You want to ensure your own safety, but at least do this. Because when somebody's driving around a corner or driving up, a couple hundred yards from this, and they see somebody doing this, they're driving, they're like, what the heck is that? It's going to grab their attention. What the heck is that? I'm going to slow down a little bit. That's all you really want them to start doing, because then they're like, well, that's weird. And they look forward and they see a motorcyclist on the ground. They're like, oh, I'm already slowing down. This is perfect. I can go ahead and move over. You do want to be able to slow down traffic because you want to ensure your own safety. Now that she's on the shoulder, it's a little bit easier. And another thing is that if she was in the road and traffic was just flying, it's the interstate, you might have to do an emergency move. You might have accident scene management will teach you a little bit of this stuff. Take a course. You want to keep them in line with their spine. You might have to emergency move them off to the shoulders, because if you don't, possibility of getting hit will kill them. Moving them might save them. So there's a little bit different urgent versus emergency moves. Okay, let's see. Yeah, don't move is good. Keep the helmet on too if you can. You can unstrap if you need to, but I'd be concerned about traffic, but we're doing good.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So where are you hurting?
Kind of my
Great questions. Start off there.
right side.
Totally right side, yeah.
So she fell on her right side. Now, so you see how it's like, where are you hurting? I'm going to kind of go a little in depth on this. It's like, where are you hurting? My right side. Well, the right side is the right side. So one thing I like to ask, can you point, especially if they still have mobility in their hands, can you point with your hand, like with your finger, exactly what hurts the most? Because then she could be like, my knee. Because the right side hurts, like maybe her hip hurts, maybe her arm hurts a little bit, maybe like her ankle hurts a little bit, but her knee is maybe hurting a lot. My knee. So that way you can go straight towards that. So that's just an assessment thing. That's all.
Yeah.
But great so far.
Good thing I have.
Another thing is that she's breathing or she's talking. So she's talking, which means she has airflow. That means her trachea is working. It means her lungs are working. And if her lungs and she's able to talk, it means her brain is working because she's able to answer the question. On top of it, it means her heart's working because if her heart was not working, she wouldn't be able to breathe or talk. So right now we're getting information already. If she's having trouble speaking and she's like coughing and like she's like taking short, my leg hurts, my chest, like if she's like my chest hurts and she's talking choppy like that, she's probably got a rib break or something where she can't expand her rib cage to talk. So we're learning so much information just by her speaking in a very calm way, and then also not having to like pause between words. So all this information is good. So far we're just kind of now it's like, okay, cool. Probably just musculoskeletal problems then. But still in the back of your mind, be careful when it comes to respiratory or circulatory system. Same thing with the nervous system. It was a crash. Got to be careful of the cervical spine, basically the whole spine. But be very careful with that. And then she could be bleeding. We can't tell because she has all her clothes on. It could be pulling blood underneath the clothes. So you still want to check for any external bleeding, just in case. Okay?
Oh, that's okay.
I'm going to call.
Call 911.
Oh.
Yeah.
That hurts a little bit.
Where?
Just the whole leg.
The whole leg.
Okay, so real quick, the whole leg. So you notice this is what you don't want to do. So when I say point where you want to go, and she's like, my knee, you don't touch the knee right away because that sends pain everywhere. And then now anything you touch is painful. It kind of gets their mind off it. So you know that there's pain on the knee or the right side, right? The pain on the knee. You go towards the other areas first. Look real quick, like, okay, there's no blood coming out. Okay, I'm going to check everything else, and then now I'm going to finally come back to this main priority. You don't want to it's called a distracting injury. You don't want to get distracted by, oh, my knee hurts. Okay, I'm going straight to the knee. It's like, my knee hurts. Okay, got it. I'm looking. Let me check your left knee and leg. Let me check your left arm and right arm, because it might not be painful, but you might be bleeding. So let me check those first, and let me go back to this one, because I don't see any bleeding visually yet. Now I'm going to expose and double check, but don't immediately grab the injured part.
Oh.
It's just that's great. Call 911, remain calm, call 911. Good.
That hurts a little bit.
Where?
Just the whole leg.
The whole leg.
Kind of
But it doesn't hurt up in here and in the groin.
No, the knee kind of hurts.
He's asking great questions. Here or up into the groin? That's very good.
I don't think I want to move
Highway
it.
15 south of Goshen, right at the crossing over Elkhart River.
So another thing you can do when it comes to, because you're going to have to talk to dispatch. I do have rescue booklets and everything that kind of talks a little bit about it. But one thing you can do is if you're riding on like highways and stuff, they have those mile markers. When I'm driving long distance, it helps me stay awake. I see the mile marker and I say it in my head. Mile marker 43, I'm on Interstate 8. Okay. Mile marker 44. Oh, it means I'm climbing up in miles. Okay, cool. Mile marker 60, mile marker 65, blah, blah, blah. Because if there's a crash, if there's something that I need to call 911 for, I can say, I'm in between mile marker number 63 and 64 on Interstate 8. That's going to tell dispatch within a 1 mile radius or distance where I'm at, in what direction. Because I also say, like, I'm westbound. I'm westbound on Interstate 8 between mile marker 64 and 65. Boom, it tells exactly where they need to go. They're going to dispatch the fire truck or the police on the certain on-ramp, the certain way to get behind so they can get up to you instead of getting on over there having to do a U-turn and do all these crazy things. It's going to help out a lot. It's extra stuff I do all the time. It keeps me awake when I'm driving long distances.
Yeah, I think you'll be more comfortable.
We have
if you can straighten out.
motorcyclist down on
the side of the road on the.
So really, yeah, you want to put her in a position of comfort. You don't need to straighten it out. If straightening it out makes it comfortable, perfect. But if having it bent and kind of having your foot there is more comfortable, perfect. Just position for comfort. At some point, she will get tired having to sit up, though.
East side of the road.
I know. I said I was going to go pretty in depth on this.
Whew.
It's a 15-minute video already on a 15-minute video.
She was traveling northbound, and she's conscious, and we're on the side of the road.
So northbound on a certain road, conscious, giving dispatch as much information. They're going to help guide you too.
Thank you. Who are you?
They're going to guide you through the process by asking certain questions.
Hello, nice to meet you. Thank you for stopping.
Oh, sure.
8787.
We were right behind the two of you.
Oh, it was a
crossroad. I'm a hospitalist that goes.
It was a stranger. That's nice.
We don't know at this point if she will.
This happened on April 16th, my first real ride of this year.
Okay.
We'll always wear full gear.
Look at these.
Yeah, I know. All torn up.
Yeah, I don't want to go. I mean, the original video is going to be linked in the description. I don't want to go too far into it when it comes to the vlog stuff. I just want to see just kind of some of the stuff here. So EMS, police officers on standby. So they're typically just first responders. They don't really have a very big medical bag. They're not trained in this. They're trained in their specific role, which would be traffic and policing the law and everything like that. Okay, looks like we got, I don't know if this is exactly hers. I can't read an x-ray stuff.
A charity that for the last 12 years has offered financial assistance.
Okay, so she's doing a sponsored thing. So go to her video and check out the links for that. Let's see.
Need to file something.
No, I'm really.
That's your choice. Okay.
Okay, so a single vehicle accident, you don't really have to file anything. I wonder if I could file something with the freaking city about that road.
Avoided. First, let's cover what this is.
Oh, she's going to do an after-action review. Let's listen.
Pink slapper, also called a speed or death wobble, according to the J&Y law firm, can have a few different causes. Road conditions, rider inputs, mechanical issues, engine frame vibration due to high speeds. When the accident investigator...
Okay, so this is good information. So right here. So a lot of people ask, what do you want to do? So check out her website. She probably has a link to this. Road conditions, uneven pavement, that's what we talked about. Potholes, deep grooves, there you go. So we talked about at the very beginning. Mechanical issues, worn tires, improper tire pressure, loose steering bearings, or faulty suspension components can all worsen a trigger. So remember what we talk about with all these crashes, like make sure your tires are actually in good shape. Make sure you have the appropriate PSI. If you have too low PSI, this can definitely happen. Loose steering bearings, I completely forgot about that. So that's good. This is a good refresher for myself. Yes, that can happen. And faulty suspension, I talk about that. So when we see stunt riders landing hard and they consistently do that, who knows at some point, maybe they have a fork seal leak. Maybe they have a compression spring. Like maybe something's wrong. So then the one time they do land it, it does this on them. And that can happen if you're constantly hitting potholes too. It's not just stunt riders having suspension problems. You constantly hit a pothole, you can have these issues, and you can have a speed wobble. Rider input, sudden throttle changes, hard braking, or abrupt steering corrections, especially when the front is already unsettled, can initiate oscillation. Yes. So if sudden throttle changes, you're in the middle of a swerve and you accelerate super hard, it can cause that. Same thing, in the middle of a swerve, slam the brakes, it can cause that. So that's why you want to do one or the other for the most part. But I do like braking to buy myself some time to make that decision. But I'm not braking and swerving at the same time. So I like that. Engine frame vibration on some bikes. Engine frame vibrations are amplified through the frame at speed, contributing to front end shake. That's interesting. I never thought about that one.
Issues, engine frame vibration due to high speeds. When the accident investigator from the Accreditation Commission for Traffic Accident Reconstruction saw the raw footage, he said the stars were all in alignment to cause this crash.
Yep. So when it comes to a close call, like close call stuff, it's usually one or two factors that are combined. Hey, low PSI, headlights out. You know, it could be gravel on the road, now a turn. Because if it was just gravel on the road on a straight line, maybe not. But it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things cause close calls. But once you start adding a bunch of different factors, it can cause a crash. So the stars were aligned, the factors were aligned to cause the crash. Yeah.
Based on the video and the information he had from me, he contributed the cause of this wobble to a combination of things.
Usually
Reduced front tire load at critical moment while at top speed, slightly accelerating, shifting the weight towards the back, and lightening the front tire's contact patch.
So that first part, great editing too, by the way, right here. There it is. Look at that. So what you're taught in the MSF when it comes to going over a bump, and I mentioned it at the beginning, I think I did, is they teach you when you go over that 2x4 on exercise like 10 at the MSF is blip the throttle, lift your butt up. So blipping the throttle, here's the front tire. What it's doing is blipping throttle is raising the suspension a little bit. Because when you decelerate, it puts traction on the tire. So when you apply the brakes or when you engine brake, it applies more weight. You start, moving forward, so more weight on the front tire. When you blip the throttle, it does that a little bit. So when you're accelerating fast, you're doing this with that front end, right? So what they teach you in the MSF is that you blip the throttle to get that front end just a little bit, going over the bump, and then you lift your butt up so that when it hits the back tire, it doesn't buck you off. So reduce front tire load at critical moment while at top speed, slightly accelerating, shifting weight rearward, and lightening the front tire's contact patch. That's kind of what's happening here.
Second,
being a lighter than average rider on a lighter than average bike. Yeah, it's like riding a bicycle.
Being a lighter than average rider on a lighter than average bike. Third was the coincidence of the tire
tread design matching the width of the bridge's grooves, creating a lock-in effect similar to getting stuck in a railroad. So these grooves I was talking about,
being a
her
lighter
tire
than average rider on a lighter than
is
average.
narrow.
Third was the coincidence of the tire tread design matching the width of the bridge's grooves, creating a lock-in effect.
Does she have a
similar
picture
to
of the
getting
tire
stuck
tread?
on a railroad track. Fourth was the raised bridge deck surface, causing further front end lightening and
Hit the
unsettlement.
bump.
You got a helmet on, you got riding gear. I don't have the pants on, so.
You can barely see it. I'm looking. I'm assuming it's the same. Like some of those skinnier tires, they kind of just have like lines down the middle. It's like here's the tire. It's a terrible drawing. They just have like those lines versus like a typical, it's almost like a flat tracker tire. Maybe that's the cause too, because it got locked in.
Huh?
I don't have the riding pants on. Yeah. You
Oh,
do?
wait, you know it. Oh.
There it is. Look at that. Guys, wear gear. She's got motorcycle knee pads in there. You can see the D30 armor sticking out a little bit. The abrasions ripped off the top layer. It ripped off a little bit in there, but the impact, honestly, she probably would have had a worse injury. Look at that. Let's go back. Look at that. So if it's doing that, if it's doing this to your tire, not your tire, if you're doing this to your pants and your armor, it's ripping a chunk out. It's ripping chunks out. It's ripping chunks out. Imagine if you didn't have armor. Imagine if you didn't have armor at all and you're wearing shorts or regular jeans. Well, the jean got ripped off, right? If you're wearing regular jeans, this is your knee flesh. That's your flesh. If you didn't have armor, it ripped a chunk. Ripped a chunk. It's basically an avulsion right there. That's not good. Let's see. Because I know she... there we go. Look at that. Armor being ripped off. Pants being... So think of the jeans as your epidermis on your skin. It's the top layer of skin. Okay, ripped off. Okay. Your knee, epidermis ripped off. Maybe a little bit more, but epidermis ripped off, okay? Now, underneath, you have your dermis, so you have your nerve endings and your hair follicles where it all connects, and then the blood vessels are starting to being exposed. That's the armor right there. There we go. That's the armor right there being ripped off. And then underneath that is muscle tissue. Pretend the orange is muscle tissue or fatty tissue. You have the subcutaneous fat. Imagine that's the subcutaneous fat being exposed. You ever seen a full thickness laceration? Don't do it, but Google. Don't do it, but Google. Go ahead. Don't. full thickness laceration to the thigh. And you'll see what I mean. I've seen that in person. It's disgusting. But now look at the knee. You got swelling. I'm sure it's worse. I mean, she talks about it more, and she looks like she's doing rehab. But she'd be missing parts of her knee. She's gonna be missing it. The gear completely. She would be having like a year or two rehab, and maybe loss of motion and nerve damage to her leg if she didn't have. I mean, I don't know what her outcome is here, but it would be a lot worse. So if you guys want to watch the rest, it looks like she's talking about it. I don't want to put it all on my video here. I just really wanted to go over the main stuff here. So if you guys want to check it out, link will be in the description for Doodle on the Motorcycle and her crash. She had some speed wobbles. I just wanted to give my input on it. Hopefully she's doing well. Hopefully everything's fine. This happened in April. So I'll probably text her and catch up on her, see what's happening here. But with that said, I hope you guys ride safe. Hopefully Doodle's doing fine. And I'll see you guys on the next live stream.